looking at the strike for power, okay, you can break that down into three different parts: the approach, the connection, and the follow through. Okay, we're going to look to begin with at the approach. The approach for power, you want it to be pretty much a straight ball going through the air, not really with that much curl on it, but a lot of pace, no backspin. So the approach to begin with should be fairly straight. If that's the ball I'm striking right now, I don't want to be on too much. The more of an angle, the more work I've got to do to keep that ball straight, and the more likely I am to curl the ball. So your approach initially should be on a fairly straight angle. If I'm striking with my left foot, this is dead center. A good stride to the side is a perfect angle. Again, if I'm dribbling with the ball, I don't need to be shifting it out completely to the side to be striking it around on goal. I'm having to do a lot of work to come around that ball. So the ideal is if I've gone there, I'm coming on that one step angle to the side. The next thing about the approach is the stride in. Again, the shorter the stride, the more shallow the backlift, the less balance you've got to the strike. The more aggressive the strike, the longer the stride, the more likely you are to generate backlift on your leg as well as balance and power. So the final stride in, I am right currently now about 1.5 yards away from the ball. That is a good distance for me to be able to stride in one step. A lot of people would use 2 or 3 steps in there. It takes away all your balance and your momentum going through the ball. So this distance here is a perfect distance for me to actually stride in aggressively to generate that backlift on my leg. So again, last thing on the approach, looking dead square on, look at my posture and balance as I step into the strike so you can get an idea of how aggressive the stride is, how much balance I've got with my opposite arm. If I'm striking with my left, my right arm offers me that balance. Okay, so you can see how quick and how aggressive my body gets over the ball. Looking from a side-on angle, again, you've seen it from the front. From the side, you should really be noticing where my plant foot strides in conjunction to where the ball is. I always want to stride slightly past the ball so that I can get my body fully over the ball and drive up through it. Okay, so again, you should be able to also see how much backlift I have with my leg as I stride in with that long stride. When striking at the ball, if you imagine my hand is the actual turf, my foot coming through the ball. Now, if you want to generate topspin on that ball, that means the ball's moving in that angle or flying dead straight through the air with most amount of power. Your foot has got to come from a low position into a slightly higher position or an even level. If your foot is coming from so high and chopping down through the ball, you're going to get the opposite type of spin, and it's going to be a floating hit. So the objective with the leg is to come from a straight position far away and swing up throughout that ball, so you're generating the most amount of spin going forward or power going through the air. Now moving on to the contact, like we've just said, you want to see the lowest point of my backlift to when I'm striking the ball, how my leg actually moves up through the ball as opposed to down into the turf. So now looking at the contact again from in front of me, you should be able to see my toe position needs to be pointing down towards the floor. Now, the most amount of power that you're going to get in your foot comes from the biggest bone in your foot, which runs directly through your big toe. So the higher up on the foot, the harder the compact area that your foot is. To make even more power, you can even make a fist with your foot by curling your toes up, so it's a lot more compact and it's ready to strike through that ball and generate more power. So have a look from this next video where my foot is striking with my toes down straight through the center of that ball to send it with as much power as possible. So what you should see on that video, if you keep playing it over the slow motion, is my follow through. My momentum is carrying me through the ball. I am not pausing at the ball and hitting with a straight leg and finishing where the ball is in this position. My whole body is driving through that ball, and I'm actually landing on the same foot that I actually kicked the ball with. So my momentum is driving me through that ball, and that same foot is landing on that floor. It's a very important stance or follow through to have in order to generate your whole body going through the ball. So to sum up, you have the approach. Don't be too much on an angle. A good stride off of center to begin with. Body weight, you want to be striding into the ball a good 1.5 yards with your body weight leaning forwards, because that's where you want the ball to go. That's your approach. Long stride, plant foot in front of the ball, especially as the ball is rolling. Okay, so if it keeps rolling, the ball's naturally going to get into a position where you're leaning back, so it's important to stride past it. Second, the contact. You need to be hitting straight through the center of the ball. Okay, so you're looking at the center of the ball with your eyes. You need to be hitting with the top lace on your shoe. If you want to generate more power, you make a fist with your foot, okay? Your toes should be pointing down. Now, in order for you to actually be sending the ball in the correct type of spin, the contact, your foot should be coming from a position that's fairly low and driving more up through the ball with a bent knee. That is, again, driving low through into a higher position where your whole body weight is driving up through the ball. That's your contact. You do not want to be coming from a high position, coming into a low position, locking your leg out. That's just going to send the ball into a spin, into a high spin. Follow through. The follow through is your whole momentum of your body, the aggression into the strike, following through the ball. Again, if you're aggressive and coming through, your whole momentum should land you on the same foot that you struck the ball with. And you should finish around 1 yard in front of where the ball was struck. So if the ball is struck there and I've stepped into it, I should be finishing a good yard in front of where it is. That's my whole body going through the ball.